Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to review this cast iron pan. This is Paderno 12-inch cast iron pan. There is some specialty about this cast iron pan, so let's have a closer look at this. I was trying to look for a review on this, but I couldn't find any, so I thought I'll do an in-depth review of this cast iron pan. Now I have this weakness of buying cast iron and carbon steel pans, and the cast iron will be helpful for me to roast coffee bean. Usually I roast my coffee beans in my cast iron skillet. It's very easy. I can just roast 1 cup of coffee bean in it. It can withstand heat. There's so many benefits. So today let's unbox this and see, and let's see how good it is and see how special is this. Now Paderno is a good brand, and you get these items in Canada mainly, and especially this cast iron. Only Canadian Tire sells this for some reason. I am not able to find anywhere else. Now they are good in making stainless steel pans. Now this Paderno, this is 12-inch in size, and it's pre-seasoned, and this is heavy gauge cast iron for even heating and optimal heat retention. Now this unique shape, now this allows for controlled pouring from these sides, and larger capacity, it's a bit wider. Now the helper handles, this is easy for lifting and to support extra weight. Now let's look at the other side. Now it works in electric stove, gas, ceramic, halogen, induction oven, and it's oven safe. Now if you notice, it's written lifetime warranty here. Now I don't believe in that. Okay, anyway, if something happens, they may say, okay, you didn't use the pan properly. That's what I've seen the customer review complaining about, but I don't know. I know this company is good. So now the other specialty of this pan I want to mention is it's a smooth release. Now that's something unique that you cannot see in any other cast iron skillet. But if you notice, the expensive manufacturers, they have smooth surface. If you look at antique skillets, you find very smooth surface all over the cast iron. Now this cast iron has very smooth surface, but it's only in the base area here. All other areas are rough. Now let's open and see. Okay, so that's the first thing you'll notice. It's ultra smooth inside. It's only the base area, like I mentioned, and you can touch and feel it's ultra smooth. Very similar to the antique skillets, or even better. Now the sides are very rough, but here it's smooth. Now if you look carefully, you see a tiny pattern of circles. This is it's been machined down to get this design. Now I had trouble in choosing this pan. I'll explain this just now, but I've seen around 6 or 7 pans before choosing this particular one. Now the other pans, you may notice this is more pronounced, and you could feel the lines when you run your finger. but some of them are ultra smooth, like this one. This one I can't even feel anything. This particular one is really smooth. Now, why I had issue in choosing this is the first one I bought, it was wobbling. It wasn't sitting flat. Now, as you know, I'm using a ceramic glass top stove, so it wouldn't sit properly there. It was wobbling. Now, I took it back to Canadian Tire and exchanged with another one, and immediately I opened this case and I tried the pan on the flat surface. Same issue. Somewhere here it wasn't touching. It was a bit high, so it was wobbling. So I didn't buy. So I went to the other Canadian Tire branch, and I choose almost 6 pan. I opened the paper cover and I checked the flatness, and finally I could find only 2 pans which was flat. The other one has a slight bow. It was curving a bit up, which is okay, but this one, I find this was completely flat and it sits properly without wobbling. So that was the hard time I had. I was blindly thinking Paderno is good quality and I wouldn't have any issue, but since I was using ceramic stove, I need a super flat one. Anyway, I'm not blaming the company for that. Cast irons are not perfect, I agree. None of the manufacturers, they build a perfect cast iron. There will be some issues here and there, I understand, but I was particular about it and I took time to choose a nice one. Anyway, enough of talking. So let's prepare this pan. Now this came pre-seasoned. Now I don't have to do much. All I have to do is apply soap and clean the pan properly, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then I'm supposed to season it before use. But I'm going to test it without seasoning because it is pre-seasoned. I wanted to see how this performs before I season it, and then we will season it and see how it performs. So I'll be doing some egg test. That's the common thing everyone uses, so we'll do that. So enough talking. So let me just quickly clean the pan. Now I'll use some hot water and wash it. Now let's apply some soap. I just finished cleaning it under soap water, so I'm going to dry it immediately. Now looks like I took a bit of pre-seasoning out of this pan. This is tough, guy. So I would suggest you to use this side, the spongy side, rather than this area. This is more tough, like a steel wool. So if you look closely, some of the pre-seasoning is gone. Like this, I can see silver bare metal. But that's fine, I'm not worried. I'm going to season it anyway, and as you use, it's going to be better. So next thing, we'll put it in the stovetop and make sure the pan is hot. so that all the water evaporates. Now I'm going to switch on my pan, medium, let's say at 6. So the stove is on, and I'll heat it nicely so that all the water vapor evaporates. And then I'm going to do an egg test before even I season it on my own seasoning. I'll just put some butter and do an egg test and see, and then we will do a proper seasoning. So let the pan heat up. So my pan seems to be hot enough, so I'm going to use some butter for the egg test. So I'll just put a thin layer and see. I don't want to put too much. That seems to be a bit less, so I just need just enough to coat the full area. That should be good. So I'm going to take an egg and do the egg test. So let it rest for a few seconds before even I attempt anything on it. Okay, so I'm really impressed. It wasn't sticking that much. Remember, this is a new pan. I just washed it in soap, and I didn't even season this. I took out half of the pre-seasoned coating, and I'm doing the egg test. So this seems fine, not sticking at all. I didn't put a lot of oil, but still it is floating around the pan. Super. That's really good. So I'm super impressed, maybe because of the smoothness of the pan. Anyway, let's turn the egg. There's hardly any oil under the egg. So I'm going to switch off my pan. clean. So let's look at the pan after it's been cooked. I see all the butter, it went to the side and there's hardly anything on the surface. It's very impressive. Without seasoning it, it still did a good job. Now let me take it out of the fire. Anyway, this pan performed so well, and thank you Canadian Tire. This is a very good product, and Paderno. Now if you want to get one of this pan, go to Canadian Tire. It's on sale right now. The actual price is 139 Canadian dollar plus tax, but now the sale is going on for $39 plus tax. So Canadian Tire, that's where you get it. That's the only place I know you can get this. Pre-seasoned, smooth release, Paderno Cast Iron pan. Now I'm going to show you how to store this pan after cooking. Remember, I haven't seasoned this. I just did the egg test, and what I did is I ran some hot water into this and used a brush, something like this brush. So that's what I used. I did not use any soap. Very important, don't use any soap. Now after running hot water and cleaning the dirt, now you'll have to immediately towel wipe it dry. Both the sides. Now this side is very rough. Even my towel is sticking, but it will smoothen after a while. Now switch on the pan so that any moisture that is left, that is remaining in anywhere in the pan, it will disappear. So switch on the pan in high flame, and after a few minutes you can put it upside down so that all the moisture disappears from the pan everywhere. Now my pan seems really hot, so it's time to pour some oil. Okay, so I'm going to switch it off. I can start feeling the heat on the handles, so that's a good sign. It's time to pour some oil. Now I'm going to switch off the pan. Now to season, you could use any vegetable oil. I'm going to use vegetable oil today, and now you can use grapeseed oil, flaxseed oil, or canola oil. All those have high heating point, so all of them works. So let's use the vegetable oil. You don't need to pour a lot, just a few drops should be fine. That's good. Now I have a dedicated towel, so you could also have something like this, a lint free, and all you do is just wipe it around the pan. Even on the sides and the handle. Now always remember, don't put a lot of oil. Once you put a lot of oil, the next day when you take the pan, it's going to be very sticky and gunky. So I'm going to use a dry side and then wipe it off, whatever excess it's there. So good. So you're done with this side. Now you place the pan upside down and let's use some oil. A few drops. That's good. And then I wipe it on the other side. Okay, that seems good. I think I covered all the portion. So that's good, it's ready to be stored. There are two methods to season this pan. The first method is the oven method. Now, after you have applied a very thin coat of oil, you can throw this pan in the oven. The other method is to season it on stovetop. That is more easier, and I'll show you how to do that in this video mainly. But to do the oven method, after you have applied this, make sure you set the oven at 450 degrees and put the pan upside down. Make sure you put it upside down and leave it there for 1 hour in 450 degree Fahrenheit. Now after 1 hour, once the pan is cool, you can take it out and then do the same cycle at least 3 times. So it will take 3 hours in total, including the break. So if you have time, I would recommend you to do that. But if you don't have time, then I would recommend the stovetop method, which I'm going to show you now. To season, you need some potato peels. This is very good to season the pan on the stovetop. So I'm taking maybe 5 or 6 potato peels. This should be good. Now to season, I just switched on the pan in high flame. Remember, I did a coating on the top, side and the bottom, so everywhere there's a thin coat of oil. Now when you switch on the pan, the heat will help to develop that patina coat or that caramelized coat all over the pan once the oil is heated beyond the heating point. So for now, I'm going to pour some vegetable oil, almost 1 millimeter thickness, so that it soaks the pan fully. So let it heat, I'll come back. Now if you don't have the potato peel, you could also use garlic chives or onions and ginger. That will also help. Now if you are a non-vegetarian, you could use bacon. That is the best. Pork fat is the best for seasoning. Now today I'm going to show you a very simple method, that is the potato peels. So now my pan is getting hot. Now my wife made this handle cover, so this will fit in my Paderno handle. So I'm going to use that because the pan is going to be really hot. So it looks like my oil have reached the heating point almost. So I'm going to throw in some potato peels. Now stir it well. I could feel that the pan is really smooth when I stir it. It's super smooth. It feels better than the other cast iron pans that is rough. It's so easy to work on this. Now make sure you apply the oil on the side as much as possible. Make sure you put it on high heat and you have to stir till the potato peels are almost burned. So I'm going to pause the video now and I'll come back. Now soon you'll see the potato peels will be starting to burn and there will be a lot of smoke. So I'm going to switch on the vent. I would really recommend you to do this outside if you have a stove outside, outdoor. If not, switch on the vent and make sure you don't get the fire alarm on. So I'm going to switch off the stove and let it cool down, and then we'll come back and the pan will be seasoned. My pan is cooled down. I'm going to remove this. So all you have to do is just wipe it with a paper towel. So what I'm going to do is, since the pan is a bit cold now, I'm going to rinse this pan in hot water and I'll come back. So I have hot water running. So look at the pan. Okay. So do not use any soap. All you do is take a brush like this and gently clean it. Now the pan looks clean, maybe a bit here and there. So the pan looks clean. Now we can wipe it with a paper towel. The pan is still hot, so you have to be careful. So I'll use a paper towel and wipe it again. It looks clean now. Now I'm going to switch on the pan. Next step we are going to do is bacon. Now bacon is very good. If your pan is new, it really helps to do a nice coat of seasoning well. Now let's put a layer of bacon. Now another important thing, put the bacon when the pan is cold, before it gets warm. So let me put it now. And I'm not going to use any oil for bacon because it releases slowly. So let's begin. So that should be good, and I'm going to increase the fire. Now it will slowly release the fat, and you wouldn't need any oil for this. It's cooking well. It's sizzling. Let me check if it's ready. Good. So absolutely no sticking so far. Okay, good. So let it cook the other side also for a few minutes, and then it will be ready. Okay, it's been a minute now, so everything looks good. It's releasing a lot of fat. So let me check the other side. It is crisping well. So I'm going to switch off the pan now. I think the remaining will be cooked in the heat. Good, nice and crispy. So I'm going to take it out of the pan. It's ready to be served. Gorgeous. Look at that. I can't wait to eat now. So it's time for my breakfast, so I'm going to hit the bacon. Anyway, that's how the pan looks after it's been cooked. Everything seems fine, and I'm going to rinse this, and I'll come back and do the potato fries. I was trying to scrape the bacon fat, the bacon remains in the pan, and I've noticed it's so smooth. It just comes off so smoothly. Now this is one portion, I took it away. Now let's see this portion. See, it comes out so clean. Now after cleaning it this way, now you can just wipe it with a paper towel and you're ready to go. Now after I'm done frying the bacon, I just rinse the pan in hot water. No soap at all, absolutely no soap. And the good thing about the pan is the dirt came off so easy. I didn't have to struggle. And now if you, I'm sure you can see this on the video, if you notice, my pan has developed a light coat of patina, that is that brassy color, the brass color that you see, which is the natural non-stick coat. So as you use the pan, you'll get more of that coat and it will cover the whole pan. Now that will make it completely non-stick. And if you use the soap, that coating is going to come off. Also, since the pan is new, I wouldn't recommend you to use any metal utensils. Something like this. This is sharp and there is nothing wrong in using, but if you are using it, be very gentle. Make sure you don't scratch the pan rigorously, then it's okay. I would prefer you use a wooden spoon. This is safe, and you can really rub the pan with this hard. Even if you find something is sticky, you can use this wooden spoon hard, and this is not going to scratch or damage the patina coat. So that's one advice. Now I'm going to fry some potatoes now. So let's have a look at it. So I'm so impressed so far. So after I was done with the bacon, my wife said she's so impressed with this pan, and she said this is the best pan she has ever seen. Anyway, I hope she won't change her word. Anyway, I'm also super impressed so far. So let's go and cook some potatoes. So now I'm going to fry some potatoes. So let me fire up the pan. Once the pan is warm, I'm going to put some oil. Now my pan is warm now, so I'm going to add some vegetable oil, just enough to coat the pan. So now my pan is hot, so I'm going to add some potatoes that I cut. Now I soaked the potato in water for 30 minutes and I left it in the fridge, and I'm using that now. So that's what the sizzle that you're hearing, but it will settle down. So I'm going to add some salt, black pepper and paprika. And paprika. Now that I've mixed it well, so let's leave it for a few minutes and I'll come back to it. So I've reduced my heat to medium, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lid to close this so that the potato cooks all the way in. Now that would be the only disadvantage I would say about this pan, that is to find a lid for this because of the odd shape or because of the new fancy shape. Now I have this round lid, that's all I have. Yeah, it just covers it. So let's leave it there. Now it's been a minute now. Let's stir it occasionally. Absolutely no sticking. It's cooking well. Now the last thing I would love to add is some turmeric. Now this turmeric is good for your health, so I use it on all my vegetables. That should be good. I feel like cooking on top of the glass. It's that super smooth. The other cast iron, it makes a lot of noise when I stir, but this hardly makes any. Let's open and see. I think it looks cooked. Let me just test it. Oh yeah, it's going all the way through. So that's ready to be served in a minute, I guess. So let me increase the flame so that it gives a nice coating. So let's stir it, the final stir. That's good. I'm going to switch off the pan and it's ready to be served. So it's ready to be served. Now look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to have this for my lunch. Looks so appealing and it cooks so well. Now I'm going to clean up the pan quickly and then I'll come back and do the final egg test. Now since I cooked 2 or 3 items in this, it has a thin layer of patina coat, the non-stick coat, the natural one. Now I want to see how the final egg test will perform. So let's do it now. So I took the potatoes out and look at the pan, absolutely nothing sticked. Maybe a bit on the side here and there, but still it's coming out easy. but nothing on the surface. Absolutely gorgeous, smooth as a glass. Now I'm not going to bother to rinse the pan in the water, in the hot water. Let me try and wipe it with the paper towel. Remember, the pan is hot, so hope I won't burn. Okay, so let's do the egg test. So let me switch on the pan, and then I'm going to use some butter. And let it melt. That's almost a big teaspoon of butter. So can't wait to test this. Now wait for the pan to be hot enough. Okay, that seems good. So as soon as you see it starting to bubble up, that's when it is ready. So I can put this. And leave it on the pan. So I'm going to add some salt, some paprika, a little bit, and finally some black pepper. That's good. And let's wait for the pan to do the magic. So as you notice, you can see here it's already been released from the pan. I didn't even touch the egg, so it's slowly releasing it naturally because of the non-stick patina coat. So I'm not going to pause the video so that you can see that I'm not trying to move or shake it. So let's see. Wow. Okay, so I'm not going to touch the pan, the spatula. It's sliding around the pan so easy. So let me turn it upside down. Wow, it's just sliding. I didn't even touch it and it's sliding. So I've switched off the pan and it's ready to be served. So let's have a look at the pan. Looks good. So all I'm going to do is pour some hot water and rinse it well, and we are ready to go, and wipe it dry. So I'm going to enjoy this potato and the egg. Now if you like this video, give a thumbs up. My final verdict about this pan is this is one of the best cast iron pan I've ever used. It performed better than all my cast iron pans and even my carbon steel pans. So it heats evenly, and the smooth release that feature, the glass smooth feature in this pan, it's something that I can pay extra $50 for. Now if you look at the expensive pans that you can buy, it's too expensive, like $250 to get a smooth surface. Anyway, this is a good buy. It's on sale, like I said, till 25th of December, so go get your pan. So I would give a 10 out of 10 for this pan. Absolutely gorgeous. Even my wife gave 10 out of 10. Now if you like this video, give a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't. I would really appreciate that. And I'll be using this next to roast my coffee bean. That's what I mainly use this pan for, but seems like my wife will be using this pan more than me. Anyway, have a good day and cheers, guys. Look at this. No sticking, absolutely no sticking.